The information and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of ASRM and its affiliates. These podcasts are provided as a source of general information and are not a substitute for consultation with a physician.
Hi everyone, I'm Jeffrey Hayes, host of ASRM Today, and today's episode is a discussion about the ASRM Virtual Congress with the ASRM staff. Now there is still time to register for the Congress through November 30th. You can go to the links provided in the show notes, and if you need help with your login, you can contact the helpline at 571-549-4539. Now, on with the show.
Welcome to ASRM Today, a podcast that takes a deeper dive into the current topics in reproductive medicine.
So if you would, please introduce yourself, tell everyone what you do at ASRM and what you were responsible for at the ASRM Virtual Congress.
Kelly Anderson, virtual meeting coordinator / senior administrative assistant. I worked on the gala and working with industry support, making sure that the industry sponsored sessions went off without a hitch, helping people get to their recording sessions and working in a channel, which was very exciting and fun.
So you and I worked on the gala and also on a channel, and this is going to come up more than once in this episode, I can promise that. This was my first time working on the gala, and I was putting together videos and you were coordinating and helping to put together videos. Did it come off okay in the end? I mean, did we feel pretty good about it?
I think so. I think the gala turned out really nice. I think everybody was really happy with how their videos turned out, how the award acceptance and the giving of the awards went. And then, the piece that we did for the Lifetime Achievement Awards went over really, really well. Both Dr. DeCherney and Dr. Zeb Rosenwax really liked the special video that we did for both of them.
And then I will transition to Angelia. Angelia, if you would, what is your title at ASRM and what did you do at the Virtual Congress?
I am the ASRM website manager and also the current social media coordinator. At the Virtual Congress, I was responsible for checking all of the websites, which is like asrmcongress.org, making sure all of the links going to the Virtual Congress were in place. I set up and coordinated the tile homepage and the left-hand navigation and the website for the Virtual Congress, although Jody also did a lot of that too, and Rusty. Also, I ran all of the social media, tried to gauge how people were perceiving our site and our Virtual Congress, and answering questions that came through our social media feeds as well.
Was this our most popular year for social media? I'm making a very large assumption.
Well,
but it was.
It's what you have to understand is the people that are interested in a Virtual Congress are people that are used to being online. So we had a lot of great feedback on social media, but that's because a lot of the same people that use social media are the ones that are excited about a Virtual Congress. We had great positive feedback, and people were excited to see that our program was available in its entirety during our Congress.
Meaning on demand, just it was ready
Correct.
to go and, all that good stuff. I'm now going to turn to my other left on the screen. Wait, is that my other right or my other? That's my other left. Jody, if you would you introduce yourself, what you do at ASRM, and what you did for the Virtual Congress?
My name is Jody Thrash, and I work in the education department at ASRM. I have a really strange title called the Education and Research Program Administrator, and because I oversee research grants currently, and also the Scientific Congress program planning. So for the virtual Congress this year, not only did I get to help build the content like I do every year, but I helped Angelia, who humbly did not take credit for as much as she did, because she had massive to-do lists, and she hit all her deadlines and all her targets, and she made it look fantastic. So everything good looking about the Congress site, the virtual Congress site, is all Angelia's doing. But I got to help with that, but I basically just had to import all of our data and get everything into this new system so that it displayed correctly and said what it was supposed to say and did what it was supposed to do. When you clicked on it, it worked. I also hosted a channel, did a channel monitor. And I trained all the channel monitors, blindly almost, because, it was all theoretical until it happened. So it was fun. It was, a lot of new and interesting work, and figuring out how to translate what we do in person to online was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun too.
So when we talk about channels, just in case anyone who did not attend the virtual conference for some strange reason, I don't understand why. And by the way, you can still get content now through December 31st. Is that correct?
Yes, but you have to register before the end of November, by the 30th.
I'm going to go back to Kelly real quick to talk a little bit about channels, because that was one of the main things that we were kind of all in the same boat with. Could you talk a little bit about what the channels actually were for people, and what that was like?
So channels are kind of like the green room if you were backstage recording a live show on TV. So this is your green room where everybody shows up that's going to be giving a talk and have a live Q&A session. So it was really kind of neat, because this was an opportunity for a lot of the abstract chairs to talk with people who wrote abstracts and learn a little bit more about what they wrote and their research. And so they really got to know each other a lot better, they felt, anyway, that was the feedback I got, than they would have in an in-person meeting. So that was kind of neat. You got to see what everybody was thinking about before they went live, and kind of learn a little bit about what the key points were in all the different research and their presentations, and what they really wanted members to take home.
Yeah, I got to spend as a channel monitor an enormous amount of time with our speakers, because we would sit there and wait, not that that was a bad thing, but watching them, like you said, just sort of work it through, and I would talk to them, and they would use me as a sounding board, to go back and forth on some ideas. Was a very unique experience, and I appreciated that, that it was immediately collaborative, and that no one felt isolated. So Jody, how many registrants did we end up having?
We actually had a really successful year. As far as registration and attendance and interaction. Each day it documented how many people logged in, how many people interacted, how many people viewed, how many people favorited, how many people liked, how many people shared to social media the different sessions and the different things. So that's something that we couldn't do at an in-person meeting. We can't count every interaction like we could online. So this year we had over 3,000 registrations just for the virtual Congress. And we had, as of today, a total of 63,661 logins. So that's how many times people have logged in to view the data. And that probably, takes into consideration that I've logged in a few hundred times myself, but but overall the average user is interacting with the system. They're still in there, they're still coming back, they're still learning. Again, that's the feedback that I'm getting, is this is the most content that the attendees have ever been able to interact with, because they can see everything, not just the one thing I could make it to. So I think that's pretty successful.
Yeah, we would have on day 3, we would have something like 3,800 people on our live streams. And when you talk about channels, we had 7 channels. Most virtual congresses have 1 channel. So we were running nonstop
Yeah, we had 966 presentations, and that accounted for almost 200,000 single views for each of those 900, for all of the 966. So we had, almost 57,000 favorited sessions. I mean, the numbers are astounding and really show how interactive our members are when given the content in this way. So,
And we didn't put a cap on anything, right? Like they could
right,
go crazy.
They're still going, right?
And they're still going crazy.
If you purchased, or if you still purchase by November 30th, the virtual Congress registration, you have access to everything except for the live video chats that were like roundtables and expert encounters, those types of things. So you still have access to everything, all the plenaries, the keynotes, the symposia, the interactive, the oral presentations, the abstract, poster wall. You have access to everything until the end of the year, and you can get CME or CE credits for all of that as well. So this is the most opportunity. This is a great opportunity, and it's the most credits you'll ever be able to get in one event like that, because you can literally do something for every single symposium. You can get a credit for every one of them.
My thanks to Kelly Anderson. My thanks to Jody Thrash. My thanks to Angelia Pittman. My thanks to the entire ASRM staff. Everyone in our show notes, folks, if you would go to asrm.org. I'm Jeffrey Hayes, and thank you again so much. We'll see you next time.
This concludes this episode of ASRM Today. For show notes, other information, and discussions, go to asrmtoday.org. This material is copyrighted by the American Society for Reproductive Medicine and may not be reproduced or used without express consent from ASRM.